Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about Tesla. Ever since Tesla hit record highs over $900 in their stock price, everything's been downhill since early February of this year. The stock has dropped all the way down, crashed to the mid 300s, and due to the virus and the market impacts, Tesla's been forced to suspend operations in its Fremont factory in Northern California. Seems like public sentiment has taking a complete 180-degree turn due to the virus and subsequent stock market crash. Overall, the S&P is down almost 30% from its all-time highs in January. Tesla has also fallen significantly more than that. However, this is also in a world where legacy automakers such as Ford and GM have pretty much been reduced down to penny stocks, and Tesla is still standing strong. Back in February of this year, Tesla was on the rise. They were on the up and up. Everyone was super excited about the future of the company, where Tesla was going. And investor Ron Barron was saying that Tesla could be a $1 trillion company in the next 10 years. Various financial analysts and investment banks also raised their price targets up to $800. So we're sitting here now in mid-March 2020 thinking exactly what happened. Nothing really happened to the company itself or Elon Musk. If anything, the company has some good news since then. The Model Y launched recently ahead of schedule. Along with that, their 1 millionth vehicle rolled off the production lines. And they've also opened up and started production in their Chinese Shanghai Gigafactory. They're poised to make an excellent entrance into the Chinese market. However, given that, there have also been some bad news, not really with the company, but just the market in general. Most companies in the market have faced various struggles. Factories have been forced to shut down due to government orders in Northern California, around the country, around the world even. And like most companies, Tesla is now expected to miss their earnings for the year. They're also expected to miss their vehicle delivery target for the year. Now, this is similar to most retailers, other auto manufacturers. The world has pretty much come to a standstill in the past couple weeks and past couple months, and will continue to do so for at least the next couple weeks. So overall, the market has just seen a lot of unforeseen circumstances, and we're going to kind of talk about and dive into why I think Tesla will be able to make this out and survive. The first thing is Tesla's superior infrastructure, their Supercharger network right off the bat. One of the things a lot of people mention when they talk about electric vehicles is the range anxiety. How am I supposed to go on a trip if I'm limited to 200 or 300 miles, can't spend a couple hours charging my car? That's such an inconvenience. But the Tesla Supercharger network, by far and away, is one of the largest and most connected charging networks in the US, and also they're expanding into Europe as well. Other companies may claim to have more chargers or more locations, but a lot of these are including privately owned and partnerships, whereas the Supercharger network is all owned by Tesla. Additionally, the network is also strategically built around major highways, cities, transportation centers, and they're designed so you're able to take long road trips without having to scramble to find charging stops along the way. For health and safety concerns, you probably should be taking a break every 4 to 6 hours of driving, and this is a perfect stop for you to charge up the car, take a break, and then continue on. However, one thing I do want to note is that as Tesla expands and sells more cars, they also have to expand that network. Some of their more popular supercharger sites are already getting overwhelmed over large holidays and traveling weekends. We saw back in Thanksgiving they had to roll out mobile chargers on flatbeds just to try to help get cars in and out. People were waiting hours just to charge the car. They definitely need to make sure that they have a roadmap to build and expand these stations. Compared to some other companies, we'll take a look at Ford and what they're doing. They're partnering up with Electrify America and Greenlots to make their services available to Ford owners across the US. But as I mentioned earlier, this is a partnership not built by Ford themselves. And I took a look at these charging sites. Most of them only have a couple, 3 to 4 chargers at each station, maybe on the higher end 10. But Tesla has dedicated supercharging stops, often larger ones with restrooms, a break room, TVs. One in Central California even has a coffee bar. And I think given that the network that Tesla has already built up, it's going to be very hard for another company to come in and do what Tesla has done. Even if you're a new startup, you have a great car, the infrastructure is just not in place. Whereas with Tesla, they've spent so much, dedicated so many resources to building this up. I think it's going to be a great advantage for them moving forward. And when more people transition to electric vehicles, this is a huge plus on the Tesla side to try to sell their vehicles. The second thing about Tesla, their distribution style. Tesla has fundamentally changed the way that we look at car purchasing now, moving to eliminate dealerships and the middleman and allowing for convenient ordering online, like we do already with a lot of our online shopping and product purchases. They do have in-person showrooms and galleries where you can walk in, see some cars, take a test drive, talk to sales reps, but a lot of it's easily available to people online for you to customize your car and get updates through that. So this is opposed to the traditional car dealership model where dealerships have contracts with car companies, and that can often take a huge cut of the profits from the car manufacturers themselves. Although they seem to have figured out a good way for purchase and distribution, on the car service side, the body shops and the repair shops, a lot more is to be wanted. Past couple of years, a lot of controversy and news about owners waiting months to get their cars fixed, not able to get parts supplied in stores. So car service is definitely an area that the company has to work on, but I think this is something they can improve. They've rolled out the mobile service division, which brings minor repairs and parts to you. You can make an appointment online and someone will come out to you instead of you having to go out to shop. I think this is a great way to take care of some of the smaller items and definitely an innovation and moving the industry forward. Another thing about the Tesla infrastructure is their investments in factories. For the past couple of years, they've mostly operated out of one main factory in Fremont, California, but now they're expanding, building new gigafactories, both in the US and across the world, expanding into Las Vegas, Berlin, Shanghai, and other locations, which will allow them to increase production and to enter into new markets. The last time anyone was this excited about factories was with Obama's Netflix documentary, American Factories, where a glass plant took over an old GM factory, but that factory has also been abandoned and mostly occupied by robots now. The third advantage and thing that Tesla has going for them is their technology. A couple months ago, a teardown was done of the Tesla cars and internals. It was shown that they're about 6 years ahead of other manufacturers such as Toyota. Whether this is actually true or not, the gap is definitely there. Personally, I don't think that fully autonomous vehicles or technologies will be here anytime soon. But with the technology they do have currently, it is way ahead of other car manufacturers. Although Tesla's technology is a little bit ahead of the curve, I do want to mention that other car manufacturers do have most of these basic features that Tesla has rolled up into their basic autopilot package in their cars as well. For example, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring. These are all features that are pretty common on other cars. So if you are looking for something with the same kind of technology, it is out there. It's just not as hyped or advertised as much as Tesla's so-called autopilot system is. The second thing about technology is that the company has fundamentally changed the way people view cars. A lot of people now see a new Tesla car kind of the same as a new iPhone or Surface tablet. It's a piece of technology. There's so much tech built into it, with all the sensors, the cameras, the hardware, the software behind all of it. It's truly an exciting time to be in this space. And I think even people who weren't big on cars before, not huge car fans, are still fans of the company, still looking to buy these cars just because of the technology that's in it. And with the technology comes some cool things that Tesla can do with their cars, such as pushing over-the-air updates straight to all of their cars. Who's able to say that their cars increase their range, increase their performance just from a software update? That's virtually unheard of. But the Model S's range was recently increased to 390 miles. Tesla Model 3 earlier this year got a 5% power increase, all through software updates that made the car more efficient and able to get more miles and more power. And with all this technology and the early lead that Tesla has on developing this, They're also able to use all of this data to train their machine learning algorithms, their computer vision, their neural network. Billions of miles driven by Tesla owners already is going to give the company a huge advantage in the future where they're trying to develop this compared to someone new in this space with not a lot of data to use and analyze to be able to build that up and to improve the technology moving forward. The third advantage Tesla has is their brand. Some say that Elon Musk does a lot of their marketing. I honestly think the company has an almost cult-like following with people waiting months and months in advance to put down a deposit and reserve cars. We saw this with the Model 3 when it was first announced, when they were just starting production. People waited months to get this car and they were willing to. Even when there were hundreds of other competitors' options out there, they decided to wait for this car specifically. And it's pretty well documented that when these cars first came out, there were a lot of issues with the build quality, with the panel gaps, interior issues, just a ton of issues with the car, big and small, but buyers still lined up, waited for these cars despite all of those negatives. And given that Tesla is pretty new in the auto space, people chose to forego other luxury vehicles such as BMW, Mercedes, Porsches, which are known to be very well built with very premium interiors, which just makes you think that once Tesla is able to get some more experience in the car making industry, fix their design issues, fix their build issues, what their product's going to look like compared to their competitors without these issues. People are just going to be even more excited to get them. There's going to be less doubts about build quality or paint job issues. And I see them being really able to compete in that luxury sedan and car segment. And also when Tesla is finally able to roll out the promised $35,000 Model 3, the cheaper Model Y, this is just going to enable more people to be attracted and to be able to afford their products. For example, there were claims that the cars were going to be able to be fully autonomous by the end of 2019. That hasn't happened yet. And Tesla's brand is also now expanding in Europe and Asia, entering new markets with their new factories. All of the momentum they built up, mostly in the US now, will be brought to these other countries and other regions. And only time will tell how well they'll be able to do in the new market. Tesla first started off with the original Roadster Model S, but now they've come a long way since then, expanded their lineup with the new Model 3 and the Model Y, and the planned Roadster 2021, Cybertruck, Tesla Semi. With growing their car lineup, this will definitely be able to attract new customers, more interest, and even aside from the car industry, their energy solar panel push will also be a big part of their strategy moving forward. Now, despite the recent market crashes and the revised outlook on 2020, I firmly believe that Tesla is not done yet. They're here to stay for the long run. They've struggled with their finances before, but at the end of last year, we just caught a little glimpse of some profitability finally. It just is very unfortunate that with all that's going on, they've also been affected with the factory closures, the slowdown for this year. But I think once things settle, once they get back on track with their factories, their developments, I think we're going to see a lot of good growth out of the company and a lot of new exciting products to come. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Let me know down below what you're excited about, new cars coming out, a lot of companies jumping in on the electric bandwagon, new electric Mustangs, electric Ford Transit vans. Everyone wants a piece of the electric pie, but what are you interested in? Give this video a like, stay subscribed if you want more updates, but thanks for watching, peace out.